And welcome everybody back to a brand new episode of the Lando Project. Sorry for the technical delays this morning. Take care of. But we are so glad you can be joining us on this fine Sunday morning as we talk about all the fantastic movie, TV, streaming, entertainment news that have transpired over the past 7 days, week, if you may. And as always, I'm joined with my compatriot in all this, Mr. B to the C, big dog.
Yeah, buddy.
How you been, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm hanging out. I'm having a good time. Living the life. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm great for many reasons.
Why? Give me some of them reasons.
One, the Eagles in Super Bowl. Burger King. Burger King.
Bruh. Y'all, you know damn well y'all done lost. Y'all done lost. Y'all
Burger
lost
King.
to us. You
Burger
know?
King.
And if you would have played us, you wouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl. But unfortunately, we decided not to show up against those bums that y'all played.
Trash.
I don't know who y'all played, but y'all didn't play the 49ers we played.
We did not. No, we did not. We played a broken Purdy, and then we played the most traveling man in the NFL, and Josh, what was his name? That whatever that quarterback was that they put in.
You know what's really funny? I was watching WWE like the week of that game, and Paul Heyman was doing a promo, and he was trying to get heat because they were in Philly, and he's like, your Eagles are going to be destroyed by Brock Purdy. And I lost my shit. I'm like, this guy is a genius.
Bro, Hassan Reddick. For the Eagles defense might be one of the best defenses I think I've ever seen right now. That defensive front line, like if we're talking like the 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens, it's up there. That defense is solid for the Eagles.
Yeah.
And that front line, that offensive front line with Jason Kelce, which by the way, the Kelce brothers I find more entertaining than the Manning brothers. Not as a slight for the Manning brothers. I just like the Kelce brothers. I think they're fantastic.
Okay.
But Jason Kelce, fantastic. Anyway, Eagles Super Bowl. One reason why I'm excited. When was the last time the Cowboys went to Super Bowl?
When it was important for the Cowboys.
Right. Very much so.
When the Super Bowl meant something. Now it's just, hey, let's play some football in between commercials and trailers.
Well, one thing that means something to me, very much so in my life, is my wife and my brand new baby. And speaking of which, we have them on the show today. Everyone,
hello.
Say hello to my beautiful wife, Lindsay, and my very handsome, yet strong baby boy, LP3. We got little Larry on his first live stream appearance.
Yo, this fool sitting here like, why am I on this?
Right.
I am.
Did y'all clear this with my agents?
Like, I have not been cleared to be on this, and you are not paying. Like, I am a high caliber streamer.
I was told Rogan would be here. Where's Joe? That's what he's looking at right now. He's like, This isn't. I got bootleg Joe. Yeah, I know, man. Your dad's a disappointment. It happens to everybody. Listen, we're going to start the lifetime of trauma today.
That makes sense.
Today is where it begins. But no, everyone say hello to Miss Lindsay, my wife.
Hello.
So today we're going to.
How are you?
Yeah,
I'm great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's mom life?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's great so far.
Yeah. Is he waking up going, hey, get out? Get out.
No. Not yet.
He's very strict.
I'm sure after a few talks with you, he'll definitely be on it.
Oh, don't worry. I'll get him prepared.
Get
out.
No, so we got Lil Larry here. We got Miss Lindsay. We got B to the C, and we are all in attendance. Guys, Morgan is currently out today, but we're hoping that she'll be back soon enough. I'm sorry, Lila's out today. Yeah, she'll be back soon enough. But that's okay. We got a full packed house today because this past week was the week. You know, on Tuesday, when it hit January 31st, there was no days left in January for James Gunn to go. He backed himself into a corner on the very last day, so I knew, like that little starfish knew in Finding Nemo, that day was the day. And goddamn it, did James Gunn deliver? James Gunn, new CEO, co-CEO, co-chair of DC Studios, finally gave us his list or his announcement of a very partial first phase, first slate, or as he is calling it, the first chapter of DC, Gods and Monsters. And with this, he unveiled lots of really cool things. Now, BC, last week you did go live and you did kind of break down some of the things that he did talk about. We're just kind of going to go into this a little bit deeper today, talk about some of the things that we like, some of the things we did not like, some things that we were excited about hearing, whatever the course may be, because it was a good day. It was a good day. Is something going on? Oh, it seems like everything is kind of glitching out on my end.
I saw it glitching a little bit, but I didn't know if that was just on our screen or.
No, I think that's the web page. So we got to be careful how we do the web page. Okay. But we do have the list here. We're going to talk about it. So before we kind of get into it, broad strokes, we've all heard the list at this point about what we're expecting to hear. BC, do you think that just in general, from hearing what he said, are we excited as DC fans? Are we excited?
I am. I'm super excited. I'm really hyped and ready for this.
Set the tone, BC. Set the tone. Let me know. Let me know. Why are we excited?
I love the because it was way more than I thought. I didn't think we were going to get half this amount of stuff. I thought we were going to get, hey, we're going to do a Superman movie, we're going to do a Batman movie, and we're going to do random James Gunn project. I was like, we're getting 3 things. That's what I thought. We got pretty much a slate, a good little slate of stuff that are in production, and I love that.
We truly did. We truly did. And that's what we're going to talk about. We got some movies. We got some TVs. He announced a little bit of animation.
Yeah.
He mentioned gaming, and we're going to talk about gaming in just a minute, but he didn't really announce any gaming, but he mentioned gaming and already the impact that is having. Lindsay, have you had a chance to check out the entire DC slate?
Yeah, I have, and I'm actually quite happy that I have no idea what half the stuff on there is.
Yes.
Because that just means I have more to look forward to. I'm happy that what is the outside? What is it? The outside verse?
Elseworlds. DC Elseworlds.
Yes.
DC Elseworlds.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what else they can do with that. And,
so the DC Elseworlds thing he really brought up, and I think that's a great point that you brought up, Lindsay. So let's start there. He finally mentioned, that was kind of one of the first things that he mentioned in his announcement, is that we're finally getting DC Elseworlds, right? DC Elseworlds is a term that comic book fans have known for a while, and I think some of the movie fans have started to pick up over the past few years, where DC, they have their in-canon things, and then they have kind of those zero issues, right? Some people call them zero issues, or they'll call them whatever. But DC, they have a brand moniker called Elseworlds, which are stories that really take place on their own, right? There was a very popular Joker comic that came out in the early 2000s that I believe that some elements were taken apart of for Suicide Squad, and also a part of the Joker movie. That was very much an Elseworld storyline. So a lot of those stories that are kind of self-centered focused are Elseworlds. And he did announce that those movies that we're getting, like Superman and Lois, that TV show, it's set in its own pocket thing, right? It's kind of Arrowverse adjacent, but not central to the DCU storyline. Will be monikered as Elseworlds. The Joker and Joker 2, Follow You Do, are going to be monikered as Elseworlds. The Batman universe by Matt Reeves, Elseworlds, right? And I think that is such a clever way for them to give us all of these things that we were talking about Can we have several Batman? Can we have several Superman? Can we have several Wonder Women? Can we have several just these individual solo tales? And I hope it doesn't just stop with Batman. I really hope it doesn't stop with Batman, because so far it's Batman and Joker. I'm hoping that we get some Elseworld storylines that involve other central DC characters as well. But the fact that we got Elseworlds now officially canon, BC, that's big, man.
Yeah, I like it because it lets us keep getting the Matt Reeves as Batman and the Joker, and like you're saying, and we could see different things, because he did say some things that kind of confused me. Like he said something about maybe one of the other projects might be an Elseworld project that he announced. I was like, that okay, but no one's really reporting on that, so maybe I just misheard it. But I like the idea that maybe another storyteller comes in and doesn't want to do, this main story. Hey, I got a take on this. It's a little bit different. Cool, do it. It's an Elseworld movie. Go. You know, that's cool.
It lives in it really breathes of fresh air, and it really shows that writing is first. If you have a good story to tell, just because it may not fit in DCU doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily have a chance to not live, right?
Yeah.
And that's great for creators, because if they say like, hey, I got this fantastic, I don't know, futuristic, and I'm just throw something out there, but there's also some, I believe this is going to happen later on, but say Batman Beyond, right? Say they want to do a Batman Beyond thing that maybe not be congruent with the DCU universe, they can do a Batman Beyond movie and just put Elseworlds on the moniker. And that should be enough for fans. And honestly, I love that they did that, because it shows that he trusts the fans to be smart enough to know the differentiation.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and honestly, I think these are just trolls on the internet at this point, where they're saying they don't understand the difference between like Robert Pattinson's Batman and the DCU Batman. Like, I honestly, I don't see why there's any confusion really over it, but hopefully that Elseworlds thing will clear that up. But yeah, he announced Elseworlds, which was so big. I think a lot of people have been waiting for that announcement to happen. That was really cool, man, and that's the way it started off. So that was a great tie-in, babes. So then he announced kind of his slate of movies, and we're going to kind of go movies and then TV, right? That's kind of how I want to go about this. So he did announce that the Flash movie, right? He also said it was going to be one of the greatest DC movies ever made, or one of the greatest comic book movies.
He said
comic book
one
movies
of the greatest comic book movies ever made.
Yeah, that's more specifically. Dude.
That's praise.
That's praise. High praise. High praise. There's a lot of good DC movies, man. There's a lot, just a lot of good DC movies. There's a lot of good Marvel movies. There's a lot of good comic book movies. Road to Perdition, I argue, is still one of my top 10 favorite comic book movies of all time.
True story. Never seen it.
Road to Perdition.
Yeah,
Really? Also, most people do not even realize that is in fact a comic book.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. Comic book movie. Don't say it doesn't do one.
Old Tommy Hanks.
Old Tommy Hanks. But he did announce we are getting these movies. So Flash is coming out, and that's going to reset the timeline, essentially. That's going to roll into Blue Beetle, which I like what he kind of said here. Blue Beetle is DCU. Blue Beetle is DCU. BC, I know you particularly wanted this to be DCU canon. When that was because of Cobra Kai.
There were three things that I wanted. All right. The number three thing.
Look at little man sleep.
Third option.
Yeah.
Was that Miguel Diaz was staying in the DC.
Strike hard. Right? Strike fast.
Fight. Quiet.
Hey.
Hey.
No mercy.
No mercy. Strike first. Strike fast.
So
yeah, I am very excited that we hopefully are gonna keep Blue Beetle going after this.
I do too.
I was generally confused. I did not think. I thought full ass reboot.
That's what I was thinking too.
But they cherry picking, and I like it.
Well, because what he mentioned about the Flash was very smart, and it's true. When Flash resets the timeline from Flashpoint, some things stay the same. Some things do not. So it's very much a possibility that we do get a different Batman, but keep the same Wonder Woman. Or keep the same Aquaman, but have a different Superman. And keep Viola Davis. Or whatever may be the course, right? It makes sense. Use what's already been made. And, everyone is talking about Ezra Miller. I'm kind of over it.
I am too.
I'm kind of over the Ezra Miller shit. I think a smart person would know that they're not bringing Ezra Miller back.
Yeah.
And if they do want to bring Ezra... Okay, here's what I got to say about it first. Mental health first. And I like their approach about it right now because the way they're kind of doing this with Ezra Miller is at least they're giving him the opportunity to show that he can get his mental health taken care of. Because if he really has been doing those things because of mental health, then you have to allow him the time to get better.
Yes.
I still don't believe he's going to be our Flash moving forward, but there's no reason as a business person to just bogart the whole movie. Say Ezra's fired before this movie comes out. That's stupid business practice. So guys, please let it be known, they're not going to announce Ezra Miller not being the Flash or Barry Allen again until after this movie gets put on streaming. It won't be until after it gets put on streaming, and it might not be until after Aquaman 2 comes out. I just wanted to say that because I see a lot of dummies, just dummies, just a bunch of donuts online saying stupid shit, and it just bothers me. It just bothers me a lot. Like, do we not understand what's going on here? Henry Cavill didn't get fired. He just didn't get cast. That's the way you have to look at it. And I love Henry. Lindsay knows. Babes, how many times I talk about Henry Cavill a day?
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah,
But I mean, I allow it. So
exactly.
I'm like,
I'm within
yeah,
tolerance.
he's Superman. Okay.
But speaking of Superman, he did announce that.
I do want to say before we go, the as far as the Flash goes, like, I am all about second chances, as we know from my own history. I'm all about. However, sorry, you lose your job at the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, there are consequences for your actions. You are no longer the Flash. I'm sorry. Now, it's not to say you're never going to act again. All right? Because if you're doing the work, do the work. Go back out, do something else. Congratulations, welcome back. Mel Gibson made it back. All right.
This reminds me of a story, man. When I was a young
story time. Hold on, it's story time. I need. Let me get. I got some coffee. Give me a story.
When I was a young man.
When he was a young man.
When I was a young warthog. Right.
When he was a young warthog.
I was a hall monitor. I remember being a hall monitor. I had the yellow sash. I was decked out. I was the captain. I had the badge.
Look at you. Look at you, snitch.
And I was snitching on everybody. Every chance I got. You went to the bathroom without a hall pass. God damn it, I found out. But there was one time when I let someone walk down the hallway 5 tiles to the left of the wall. When my school had said all students need to walk on the 3rd tile down the wall. I let them walk 5. I broke the rules. I got demoted. I lost my sash.
Yeah.
If the Southeast DC public education system at the time understood that I broke violation and broke protocol as a 7-year-old man on payroll and everything, and I lost my sash because I didn't do my job, then you know what, Ezra Miller, you just lost the Flash. And that's okay, because I had more opportunities in my life to become a hall monitor again, and I did. I took my just desserts, and I went and I learned from it. And that's what has to happen with Ezra Miller. He's a hall monitor right now. He just lets someone walk too many tiles to the left. He just has to lose his job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hall
I'm
monitor,
with you.
man. Hall monitor, bro.
Hall
it was a good
monitor.
time, though. I was stitching on everybody, dog.
Of course you were. I'm going to keep
Yep.
that in mind.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
Was out here in the streets, dog. Cold blood snitch.
No,
But I was
no,
doing
no
that
more
for
of my illegal activities will be.
Nah,
will
but
be
I had a whole
notified to you.
operation going on, man. We was making some money doing. Anyway, it's a long
Okay.
story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it's okay.
I was a dirty hall monitor.
Okay.
I was a
then
dirty
that's
cop.
A little better.
Training Day just came out. I was inspired.
So
You know?
I would have been paying you off. Got
Yeah,
it.
you would have been good. You would have been good. But anyway, so he did announce we are getting a Superman movie, Superman Legacy. That's what he's calling this thing. Superman Legacy is going to come out. We got a release date. 2025 is going to be our first theatrical movie from this new 8 to 10 year slate. Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, Superman Legacy, young I was about to say young Henry Cavill. No, young Clark Kent. Is it weird to me that Henry Cavill is just Clark Kent? But anyway, you got a young Clark Kent coming at 25 years old, and that's going to be our first movie into this thing. Superman Legacy, BC. Mm-hmm. Were you surprised to hear that that's the first movie coming out of this slate?
No.
We've been calling this shit for a while.
Yeah. That is the one obvious no duh that was coming. And I'm like, all right, cool. Superman Legacy. What do we know about it? Absolutely nothing. We just know it's coming. All
We
right,
do
cool.
know it's written by James Gunn.
Yeah.
And Peter Safran, the other co-CEO, co-chair of DC Studios, said, I'm trying to get James Gunn to direct it. He said it. Do you think he ends up directing this movie?
Which means James.
Say that again. You broke up.
Oh, yeah.
Real weird. You broke up.
No doubt. No doubt.
Okay. He
No
directs
doubt.
this movie.
When Safran said, "Hey, I'm trying to convince him," no, I've already convinced him, but we don't want y'all to know that yet.
Exactly.
All right, he doesn't say that if it's not going to happen. Sorry, he's going to direct it probably.
Babe, do you like the idea of James Gunn directing Superman Legacy?
Well, yeah, because he's writing it. So who better to get it than him? And he's been very vocal on Twitter for people throughout this whole process, which is nice. So I think it'll be genius.
I think James Gunn's the right guy for this. I really truly do. Even though James Gunn is kind of an R-rated pusher, he likes to push the R rating thing. He does. That's kind of his mantra. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I really, and we talked about several other people doing a Superman movie. The idea of a James Gunn directed Superman movie, man, just really, really turns me on. It really does. It really does. I think James is just the right guy for this. I think he understands his character. I think he understands his character more than anybody else. And in the same vein that Henry Cavill understood The Witcher. You know what I mean? And this makes me excited. The James Gunn doesn't miss for me. There's really not a bad James Gunn movie in my opinion. I definitely think, and I think you agree, that Guardians 2 was weaker. I don't necessarily think Guardians 2 is a bad movie. I just think it's a weaker movie. I don't think it's a bad movie.
I am not a big fan. Look, honestly, I don't like Slither. I'm not a big fan of James Gunn's. There's some things I love Guardians. I love the Guardians Christmas special. I loved the Suicide Squad.
Peacemaker.
But I love Peacemaker.
Bro, he's averaging over. He's hitting more.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like I think James Gunn. What I'm more excited, I think he's a great filmmaker, and I'm totally on board with anything he makes. I'm like, all right, go ahead, make it, do it. Just because I didn't like some things doesn't mean,
right?
They're not good.
He's a great creative mind. He's a great creative mind.
I'm all about whatever he wants to do. Yeah.
And the fact that he's done Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, Guardians 1, Holiday Special, the fact that he's been able to do 4 things in recent memory that have been well received.
Yeah.
You know what? I think people forget that that's very hard to do. It's very difficult to make 1, a movie, 2, a good movie, 3, a movie that people actually fucking like.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that a lot. James Gunn, I really appreciate what he said in his announcement, where he said that they put story first. And he said that the one thing that he wants to incorporate more in the production of these movies is there's normally the director that's super involved. Normally there's normally like a big The Rock type figure, a figurehead involved with the productions of these movies. What I really, really, really love that he said was that writers were going to be fundamentally involved in how these stories are brought together.
Yeah.
Writers, true writers, and how they're going to be involved. Because writers do things that I don't think a lot of us really appreciate. They're like Congress. All the hate goes to the president, when really a lot of your problems should go to Congress. So when you see a lot of these movies and you're like, oh
That's
man,
a really good metaphor, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, I don't like Ray the character or Daisy Ridley. No, your problem isn't Daisy Ridley. It's the writer's room. And the fact that he's saying that he wants to bring them central figure into what they're doing. Yo, DC fans, calm the fuck down. There's nobody better doing, honestly, you're only bitching to bitch at this point. Because all the things that he is saying are literally all the right things to say. They're all the right things to say. I had to say that piece, man. But you liked my analogy? I appreciate it.
It was good. That was a good one.
It was good, man.
Like
I'm out here. I be Lando Project, baby. That's what we do. Finger guns. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Anyway, he announced Superman Legacy. The next one that he talked about, and this is kind of the one that I'm getting more and more excited for every single day. This might be my most anticipated, because right now my most anticipated is another project, but this one is kind of getting up there, and that was The Authority. That was The Authority that he announced.
But before you say anything,
let it in.
Guess. Can I make a guess here?
Joe, yeah, what's your guess? Jeffrey D.
You're
Morgan.
excited for The Authority because it is a DC version of The Boys.
No.
Bullshit.
I'm excited for I'm excited for The Authority because the Boys was an Amazon ripoff of The Authority.
You said the same thing I said. You just turned it around.
I didn't. It was totally different. Totally original. I just made it up. But no, that's why I'm excited, man. But to your point, I am. But yes, I am excited for that. I like mature themed movies. When I look at the MCU movies, the movies that I really enjoy are the Russo brothers directed movies. The ones that are more mature leaning. The Civil Wars, the Winter Soldiers, the Infinity Wars of that nature. To me, in my opinion, those were a little bit more mature in scope about the themes of those movies, the what's happening and transpiring, not like the Thor Love and Thunders, where those are a little bit more childish, in my opinion. Right? I like the stories that actually have me thrilled and enthralled, have me on the edge of my seat, just like The Last of Us, or like Yellowstone, or like Power, mature themes. So with The Authority, yes, it's The Boys essentially, where you have the Authority. You have pretty much two central figure characters. They're pretty much like Batman, Superman, but they're gay characters. They love each other, whatever. But they're just two psychopaths.
Yeah,
I ain't wearing psychopaths. I don't know. I just saw that clip the other day. Bang. No, and that's why I'm excited for this, and also because this could be the antithesis of what the Justice League is going to be. Of what it's going to be. Whenever we're talking about Superman, the issue about Superman is, who's he going to fight?
Yeah.
Well, there's someone in the Authority right now that he could fight.
Oh yeah.
And I think James Gunn is setting that up very, very early.
Soldier Boy.
Well,
Homelander.
Homelander could be a good Reverse Flash.
Ooh, he would be a good Thawne.
And honestly, Soldier Boy could be a good Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've thought about him on my list. Yeah.
I honestly, I want him as Batman. I do. Genuinely, I do. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Brave and the Bold in a little bit, but we'll talk about it now. Fuck it. We're having free fun. But yeah, Jensen Ackles, I want him as Batman. He's already been Red Hood. To me, he is, and you said in Titans, that Red Hood in that one is your definitive Red Hood. For me, it is the animated Red Hood. The animated Red Hood was voiced by Jensen Ackles.
Yeah.
Who's already demonstrated that he can carry the boy. Not carry the boys is difficult to say, but because he didn't carry shit. The boys is already solid. So I don't say he carried shit. But for him to come into something like The Boys, which has already been so revered and so awesome, and he was able to come in last season, and I thought season 1 and season 2 were great, but season 3 was different.
Yeah.
Season 3, I had fun. Season 3, I was like, shit. That might have been one of the most fun seasons of television I've ever seen.
I definitely like season 3 more than I like season 2. But season 1 still my number one. It goes 1, 3, 2 for me.
It goes 3, 1, 2. I think 2 was my least favorite season.
Yeah, me too.
Super excited for season 4, by the way. But Jensen, he to me would be a great Batman. And actually, let's just go ahead and fast forward right now to The Brave and the Bold here, where Jensen, I'm sorry, not Jensen, where we have our first introduction to the DCU Batman. It's going to be in The Brave and the Bold. And BC, I know where we're going with this. What are we most excited for when it comes to The Brave and the Bold?
We're getting a Robin! My number one thing, the one thing that I was like, James Gunn, please just give me a Robin. We're getting a Robin.
Why is Robin important?
And we're getting Damian Wayne. We're getting Damian Wayne, which is very interesting.
Boom.
But that means more than likely there's a Nightwing out there. That means more than likely
I'm setting you up.
Jason Todd might have already been killed.
I'm setting you up. Go for it.
Just many options, and we're gonna get the Bat family as well. They said this is gonna be an introduction to the Bat family. I love getting to see the dynamic. We're finally gonna get to see the dynamic of Batman and Robin together on screen. We haven't had that since Schumacher back in the 90s. And now it's finally we'll be able to have our dark, broody Battinson out there being Battinson. And then in this universe, we will get to see a dynamic of Batman and Robin. And that's something that I absolutely love.
I don't care about Robin.
Oh, my God.
I don't care about Robin at all.
I go in that whole spiel. I get all excited. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit about Robin. Here's what I'm excited about. Because I don't care about Robin. Because to me, Robin is a figurehead. It's a title. I love the idea that we're introducing the Bat family. Mm-hmm. I don't care about Robin per se. I care about Dick Grayson. I care about Tim Drake. I care about Jason Todd. I care about Damian Wayne. If you're giving me Damian Wayne as Robin, that means to me, Nightwing's already around. That means to me, Jason Todd is in the dirt, or at least he's Red Hood.
I don't think he's Red. I hope he's not Red Hood.
I hope he's in the dirt. I hope he's in the dirt. God, BC. I hope he's in the dirt. Because if they're introducing, I'm going to get to it in a second. Damian Wayne, that means that they're introducing 2 other people, very important people later. And also a very important pit of sorts. And then they're also introducing, which in my opinion is the most least recognized Robin, Tim Drake. Red Robin. Future Batman Beyond Robin.
Titans has made me not a fan of Tim Drake.
I don't care what they did with Titans.
I know. I'm just letting you know. As of now, I don't know Tim Drake enough.
Tim Drake is so dope. He gets slept on, bro. He's kind of like the Guy Gardners and the what's the other fourth motherfucker?
Kyle Rayner.
He's like the Kyle Rayner of Robins. But no one gives Tim Drake credit. I fuck with Tim Drake heavy. So the fact that they're saying we're getting Damian, we all know is number 4. 4. Roka, where you at? 4. He's 4. Or he may be 5, depending on if you want to count Batgirl. right? But this makes me feel like we're getting into a era where we're going to have a Batgirl, maybe a Oracle. Maybe we get Oracle, and we get Nightwing. Maybe we can introduce Red Hood in Batman Brave of the Bold #2. We got Tim Drake. We got Damian. And this is an 8 to 10 year program. Well, then in 8 to 10 years, they can shut Batman down and then get us and swing us into Batman Beyond. And now I got Terry McGinnis.
Yeah.
Right? I love this. My question to you, Lindsay. We've heard for a very long time in the grapevine that Ben Affleck has been creeping around the DC lot. He's been hanging out, scoping the scene, checking it out, hanging out with Aquaman over there on Aquaman 2, Lost Kingdom, having secret meetings with James Gunn, doing his shit, fucking with J-Lo, and then going back to DC Studios. So, Lindsay, is Jennifer Lopez going to be Batgirl? All right, that's not a real question. The real question is, do we think that Ben Affleck is directing Batman, the Brave, and the Bold? We originally heard that James Gunn, when he announced this new reboot, him and Ben Affleck have had conversations about him coming back and helping with the future of this. Do we think that Ben Affleck, Oscar-winning Ben Affleck, Oscar-winning director Ben Affleck, my least favorite actor in the world who just happened to become Batman, and then I had to love him because he became the world's greatest Batman of all time, Ben Affleck. Pearl Harbor sucks. Batman, right? Do we think that Ben Affleck directs Batman Brave and the Bold? What say you, Lindsay, but more importantly, LP3?
What do you think?
Lil Man.
Yeah, he hears you.
Lil Man.
He's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. He spoke to me. He spoke to me. I see it. I hear it. He's excited. What are you? Are you excited, babe?
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good choice because he was Batman and he knows what all goes into it and he knows what needs to be done. And I think it's a great choice. And who doesn't like Ben Affleck?
I don't like Ben Affleck. I truly don't.
I know
didn't.
you don't.
I
Okay?
didn't before Batman. But BC, do you think that this is the project that Ben Affleck's directing? Or do you not think he's directing anything?
You know what? Before I found out we were getting Damian Wayne, I would have said yes. Now I don't know. I have
You
no
don't
idea.
think he likes Damian Wayne?
No, I was set that, okay, what he's going to do is they're going to take, I had the idea that they were going to take his script, his Nightmare script, or no, Deathstroke script, and adapt it. Now I look at it and go, if they're doing Damian Wayne, I don't think they're doing that.
I'm going to tell you why you're wrong.
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you why you're wrong.
Tell me.
Deathstroke is super important to Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
Deathstroke is super important to Damian Wayne. Babes, did we just not watch Batman and Son? Animated film. Came out a few years ago. Part of the DCAU, which is the DC animated universe.
True story. One of my close personal friends was a associate producer for that, Batman and Son. And I went the very first time I ever went to LA, they were still working on that. And he gave me a tour of Warner Brothers Animation and showed me the storyboards for that. So I knew about that way before it came out. I was like, what the hell? He's like, yeah, this is going to be big.
And it was. I love that movie.
Yeah. He has since moved on and left WB Animation. And he is now, he was one of the associate producers for Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. And he works on the new Beavis and Butthead show.
Oh shit, we got to watch that.
Yeah, and he just got married yesterday, so congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Your life is over. Anyway.
Pretty much.
No, so in that Batman and Son movie, at least, Deathstroke is a fundamental purpose about why Damian even goes to see Batman in the first place.
Yeah.
Deathstroke kills Ra's, and because of that, Talia ships Damian back home to Bruce so Bruce can take care of him while they figure out everything else with Deathstroke. And Damian has a vendetta against Deathstroke the Terminator. He has a vendetta against Deathstroke the Terminator. So if they want to adapt it, they could. They could essentially adapt it with kind of just bringing Damian into it. I think Ben Affleck would be great for this. But that also brought me to what I was going to say before, the introduction of some characters that I really, really hope we see. If we're getting a Damian Wayne, we're getting a Ra's al Ghul. We're getting a Ra's. We're getting a Ra's al Ghul. Depends on how you want to say it. Ra's, Ra's, I don't care. You're getting Talia.
Yeah.
Which I'm so excited for. Because in my opinion, and as much as I love Christopher Nolan, and as much as I appreciate Marion Cotillard for her acting prowess, Talia al Ghul was trash in The Dark Knight Rises. That character was trash in The Dark Knight Rises the same way that Bane was trash in Batman and Robin.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Bane was trash in Dark Knight.
No,
I was like,
no,
I love Tom Hardy.
First of all, Tom Hardy's Bane is my favorite villain in that trilogy.
All right, thank you.
Even above Heath Ledger's Joker. Fight me. I'll argue all day.
I agree.
I'll argue all day. But we get a redemption for Talia. We get a Ra's al Ghul. We get a Lazarus Pit. Hashtag make Red Hood great again. Do it right. You know what to do, guys. You're right there. You're on the cusp. I'm talking to you, James Gunn. You're on the cusp. Give me Red Hood. All right. I need to get off of Batman because I can talk about this shit all day.
Yeah, me too.
Moving forward. One that kind of was a shock, to me at least, was the announcement of Superman Woman of Tomorrow. Superman Woman of Tomorrow, we're getting a Superwoman film, right? And they say, so we see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock chip off of Krypton and watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years in her life. My guy, take my money. Let me see what we got. Let me see what we got going on here. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. BC, are we? Are we intrigued by this?
But I want to see the Flash because
are we getting
I'm going to be disappointed
if it's not
if
Sasha.
I really like Sasha Calle
and
she's not our Supergirl going forward.
I think she
that's gonna worry me.
I think she will be. Well, here's the difference though. It depends on age wise how they want to do her with Superman. But if they can find a way to make it work, I don't see the reason why you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Babe. So this is the solo female project, right? That they announced. A lot of the other ones are these guy-centric ones and Swamp Thing, right? Does this make you excited? Is this the one that you want to see, or is this rank lower in the list of movies that were announced? What say you?
No, I'm very intrigued by it because just what the movie's going to be about, and I'm excited to see how whoever portrays the role, because it's devastating to go through that and just to have someone to hold on to that pain and then stay there during filming. I'm just interested to see how they portray.
Let me ask you. Either one of y'all watch Smallville?
I did. I loved that iteration of Supergirl. I did.
If I'm not, she was kind of a bitch on there, right? Like,
yes, she was. Yeah, she was, and I loved that, and she should be that.
I'd kind of like to see that too. Like, I loved Melissa Benoist as
I loved her.
I thought she had such a great
Voorhees
quality.
It was Lana Voorhees or Laura Voorhees or something.
Laura Voorhees. Yeah.
Okay.
But I loved Melissa Benoist's iteration of Supergirl. I thought it was very endearing and very heartfelt, and I loved that character. But I do want to see that edgy Supergirl that we saw in Smallville. I really enjoyed that juxtaposition of her against a Superman. So I would love to see this different take.
I would say that is honestly why I appreciate the Smallville Supergirl more than Melissa Benoist's Supergirl. I don't care for derivative characters. And I especially don't care for derivative characters that have the same personality as the character that came before them. Which is why I love Red Hood so much, juxtaposed to like a Dick Grayson.
Is that a word?
Yeah, it is. I just made it up.
I know juxtaposition is a word.
Yeah, juxtaposed. It was the past terminology for it. So you have Dick Grayson and you have Red Hood. You have totally different tonalities of a character.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think they work well. If I have a Superman, which is truth, justice, the American way, the nicest man on the world, and then Supergirl, and she's also just as sweet and just as nice, I'm like, all right, well, there's not much here to really get me going. But if Supergirl is more of the asshole, is more of the like the what's the word? The angrier, heartbreak, more resentment. Yeah, she's a bad bitch. She's like, nah, fuck all this stuff. We going in.
She's a queen, bruh.
If she's kind of like in Man of Steel, Zod had the girl that was riding with him.
Yes.
If she's more edged out, like that, compared to a Superman, that right there is a story to tell. Because now you got a confliction of ideologies. And that's story, guys. That's story. Mm-hmm. No one wants to see the two people have. It's the same thing with like Iron Man and War Machine. They have two different ideologies about things. If War Machine was
I always want to see a War Machine.
Yeah, I always want to see a War Machine. But it's because that he's not the same thing as Tony Stark.
No.
If he was exactly the same thing as Tony Stark, it would just be a black Tony Stark. No one wants to see that. If Supergirl was just a nice woman version of Superman, then it's just a woman version of Superman. She's not her own character.
Yeah.
She doesn't have her own. She does not live exclusively in her own world. She's just a side character to this other person. She's not a main character in her own story. So by having her live off-world on a chip of Krypton that blew up and everyone died, well, she's coming with different experiences that Superman may not have seen. And here's the trick to it. Supergirl is stronger than Superman. In the comic books, Supergirl is physically stronger than Superman. So if we're going to do this, let's do this. You know what I mean?
I'm all in.
And I'm all in. And then the one that I'm excited for, this is currently my most excited, is Swamp Thing. I'm excited for Swamp Thing. I was excited for Swamp Thing when they announced it on the DC Universe app.
That was such a good show, too. Man,
I was excited for it.
And they canceled it before the first episode even aired. And then they had the audacity to put a post-credit scene on the finale.
Episode. Yeah, that was bullshit. They played us on
that.
They played us on that. And I love Swamp Thing, and I love what they could potentially do with Swamp Thing because of how I just saw Werewolf by Night. Mm-hmm. Man Thing and Swamp Thing are very, very pretty much the same character.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. I think Swamp Thing came first. I don't know, don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But still, with Swamp Thing, there leads a lot to that. Swamp Thing, here's the description from the CEO, James Gunn and Peter Safran. He said, easily the most extreme example of Gunn and Safran's conviction to diversify the DCU, Swamp Thing will investigate the dark origins of Swamp Thing through the prism of horror. By way of explaining further, Gunn referenced the initial reactions to the Guardians of the Galaxy joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe and initial questions about how Rocket Raccoon would work standing next to Thor. That mashup was quality, wound up being one of the highlights of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, Gunn argued. Gunn said they're one-upping that approach with Swamp Thing. This is much more horrific film, but will still have Swamp Thing interact with the other characters. They're making a horror movie.
Yeah, I want to add that Yusef down in the chat is excited for both the Authority and Swamp Thing, and like we were saying, Lando's got the Authority on his list pretty high, and yeah, the Swamp Thing, I'm definitely on board with that to see it being a horror movie and take those tones.
I think that'll be a fantastic. And the thing about Swamp Thing too is that he has that multiversal thing with him where he can connect with several dimensions.
Yeah,
it's super great. But the great thing I love about Swamp Thing, this is called Gods and Monsters. Gods and Monsters. Well, they didn't announce many monsters here. This is the one. Do we get Justice League Dark? Do we get Constantine? Do we get a Zatanna?
Eventually, I think so, yeah.
And this could, and that's my anticipation. It's like we start with Swamp Thing now, which I think is the smartest move. I'm glad we start with Swamp Thing and not a John Constantine.
Yeah.
And I hope maybe at a plug at the end of the movie, it's a John Constantine introducing himself to Swamp Thing.
That'd be cool.
That'll be cool, and that opens that up. So we're moving and grooving. Television, we had Creature Commandos that was announced. That's going to be the actual very first thing to come out of this DC James Gunn universe. Creature Commandos, which is going to take place in World War II. Rick Flag Sr., Weasel from Peacemaker fame is in it. You got Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and some other characters as well. Creature Commandos is super unique. Are we excited for Creature Commandos? Are we not?
I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun little anime. I'm about as excited for it as I am for the next season of What If.
Okay.
Like, yeah, this is gonna be cool. I can't wait to see it. But I'm not like, oh my god, when's it coming out?
I'm excited for Creature Commandos like I am Invincible Season 2.
I still haven't finished Season 1.
Ooh. That's where I'm at with Creature Commandos. I think they're going to go more with like the Seth Rogen animated stuff. Like that's kind of how they're going to kind of gear it. If they do it that way, I see this working out very, very well. Excited for Creature Commandos though. Waller. This is the one. This is one.
So I said my top 3 things. Number 1 was Robin. Number 3 was goddamn, now I can't even think of the word I was thinking of. Number 3 was no. We said it earlier. Number 3,
Batman, Superman,
whatever it was. We said it earlier. Either way, no. Number 2. Oh, number 3 was Miguel Diaz saying his Blue Beetle.
Oh, Blue Beetle. Okay.
Number 2 is John Cena back as Peacemaker, and the fact that Waller is going to be an extension of Peacemaker with Viola Davis makes me go, oh, that means we ain't losing Peacemaker. All right, we're going to continue to have a show about a great superhero that you just can't see. He's not there.
I'm excited for Viola Davis to return.
Exactly, yes.
When I was talking with Lindsay a while ago about what characters they could bring over, what actors they could bring over, the one that I said was safe was Viola Davis. And the way that I was kind of describing it was kind of a Judi Dench, James Bond kind of a thing.
Okay, I see you.
Viola Davis can be Amanda Waller in any fucking universe. I don't care who the Batman is, who the fucking Superman is. It's the same thing as J.K. Simmons and J. Jonah Jameson. That's who Viola Davis is as Amanda Waller. As much as I love Henry Cavill as Superman, I do believe that there are several people in this world to play Superman, Clark Kent, depending on age and what you want to do with it. But fucking Amanda Waller, that's Viola Davis.
Yeah,
that's Viola Davis. To me, and that's to me one of those when we talk about top 10 casting choices. Viola Davis has only had about 15 minutes of screen time as Amanda Waller,
and she's
been awesome. Damn it, she's fucking perfect. She is perfect out there to me with Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, Patrick Stewart, Professor Xavier. You know what I mean? Viola Davis is up there as perfect casting for Amanda Waller, a character that I grew up watching and kind of being scared of. Amanda Waller's one of the scariest people in DC.
Yeah.
She truly is. She's up there with Lex Luthor, the most powerful, scariest individuals. And you got Viola Davis. I don't think by casting this kid's character, I don't see how you get a stronger actor. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. I don't think there's a stronger actor than Viola Davis. It's perfect to me. And I love the fact that they're bringing back the Peacemaker family. I love all the homies with that. The girl, James Gunn's fiance, wife, girlfriend.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the white girl.
I had no idea.
That's his significant other.
Okay.
And then the fat dude. You know what I'm talking about? The fat dude. I fuck with the fat dude.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't know that he was actually the body outfit for King Shark.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he was a motion capture guy for King Shark. I like that guy. I like this team.
Yeah.
I like this team. Give me more of this team. And I don't know if we get John Cena in this season because I know they're making Peacemaker season 2 still, which I don't know if that'll be Elseworlds or not, but I'm excited for this. As long as I get Vigilante back, because I personally like that kid who played Vigilante so much. He was so great. He was so charming. Babes, how do you feel about Viola Davis coming back as Amanda Waller in the Waller season?
I love it. I loved her ever since How to Get Away with Murder. And this is, yes, it's the role that she was born to play. That is her. So I'm excited to see where we go with that and see what else she has up her sleeve, because I know that it's going to be, every episode is going to be like, oh goodness.
Yeah.
So.
And I love how it picks up after the end of her daughter outing her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what's going to be awesome. So I'm hoping to get a lot of conflict with Amanda Waller, right? I'm hoping that we do that. But don't ruin it like we've done with, like, the thing about Amanda Waller is that she's so behind the curtain that it's that Boba Fett kind of nature. Before the book of Boba Fett, it was like that mystery around that character. Yeah. It's a Darth Vader-esque. It's that Lex Luthor mindset. I hope we don't, like, make her soft. You know what I mean? I hope we still stay true to that character if we're going to dive into her story a little bit more. But she's such a fascinating character. I'm excited for it. Now we're going to get into some of the 3 shows I'm really excited for. I'm going to start with the one I am least excited for. And hate me if you want. Booster Gold. Booster Gold is not up there with me. I've never really been a big Booster Gold fan. I tried. When I say that Booster Gold was a character that I tried to really love, I tried. But I don't care about this character at all too much. But I am very glad that they're bringing this character in because there are a lot of fans that wanted to see and have been wanting to see a Booster Gold for a very long time. Then we have Lanterns, True Detective, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and then we get Paradise Lost.